Free agency always brings a whole lot of pressure and drama for the teams making those decisions, but for us fans, free agency is tons of fun, and that is going to be the case again this year with lots of potential game changers in this free agency class. In today's video, I'm telling you where 5 of the NBA's top free agent shooting guards should sign. How's it going, everybody? This is Troy, host of the Half Court Report YouTube channel. Hey, have you liked this video? Have you subscribed to this channel? Make sure you do so for fresh and consistent NBA content several times a week. So I already did a free agent point guard video. This time, free agent shooting guard. So let me know what you think in the comments about these shooting guards on the list and where do you think they should go. First up, Demar DeRozan, San Antonio Spurs. And you know what? Since last summer, the Spurs have seemed ready to fully turn their team over to guys like DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker IV. They got lots of young players. So I think DeMar DeRozan is going to get pushed out of the picture. But to his credit, he has evolved. He's been an excellent player this year. He led the Spurs in scoring and assists. And in his early 30s, DeMar is still in his prime. I think he would be a good fit on a number of contenders. You know, he's not the type of player who's going to be stretching the floor, but he's a great vet who can hit clutch shots. He can play defense. And DeMar can even be the focal point of an offense, especially if he's playing with one of those super duper stars. Remember, he is a multiple-time All-Star, and we forget that sometimes. So where could DeMar DeRozan go? I would really look at the Dallas Mavericks. They've been hunting for a third star ever since acquiring Kristaps Porzingis. But you know what? The way KP has been playing, DeMar DeRozan might actually end up being that second star and push KP to third. And you may be saying, yeah, the Mavericks need a guy who's more of a rim protector. DeRozan isn't going to give you that, but he is another high-level scoring threat, and that's something the Mavericks definitely need, especially when Luka Doncic isn't on the floor. There are also rumblings that the Chicago Bulls would be interested in DeRozan, so could this work? Maybe with him and Zach LaVine sharing duties as the playmakers on the team. Then you'd have the rest of the players on the core like Nikola Vucevic, Patrick Williams. I think it could work, especially in a watered-down Eastern Conference. And a lot of folks want the Warriors to somehow get DeMar DeRozan on the team. They would obviously have to give up Kelly Oubre to make that happen, and they'd also have to do some other cost-cutting moves too. But adding DeRozan to a team that's already getting a returning Klay Thompson, you could move Andrew Wiggins to the bench as really good sixth man. I think if all that were to happen, you would just have to go ahead and pencil in the Warriors into the Western Conference Finals already. And next up, what about Talen Horton-Tucker, who is currently playing for the Lakers? He put together an impressive regular season for Los Angeles. Second-year pro, he got more minutes than guys like Marc Gasol and Wesley Matthews, and he finished third on the team in assist percentage. He really showed a lot this year, and remember, he is still one of the youngest players in the league. I think there's lots of upside and untapped potential with THT. There was actually talk earlier in the season that he was going to get a contract next year in like the $50 million over 4 years type of range. If that were to happen, I think it's a little too rich for what the Lakers would want to spend, especially with Alex Caruso also up for a contract extension. So I think Caruso might be the guy they prioritize. That would leave Horton-Tucker looking for a new team. So where could that new team be? I think he's also going to look for a team where he's going to get consistent playing time, because I think year 3 could be a real breakout year for THT. Look for a team with lots of cap space to throw a monster offer at him and see if they can turn him into a big piece for their team. I would keep my eye on the Houston Rockets, the Toronto Raptors, and the New York Knicks. And next up is Kendrick Nunn of the Miami Heat. And yeah, I know I have him in my shooting guard video. I think that is his more natural spot. The Heat are looking to make lots of moves this offseason, so would Kendrick Nunn be in that equation? They're going to have ample cap space, especially if they decide not to pick up team options on Andre Iguodala and Goran Dragic. And besides guys like Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, nobody other than Tyler Hero is guaranteed more than $4 million salary next season, so they have lots of moves they can make. Nunn enjoyed a quiet breakout in his second season, which probably isn't too much of a surprise considering he finished behind Ja Morant, number 2 in Rookie of the Year race in 2019-2020 season. His defensive shortcomings, though, limit his ceiling to more of a spark plug off the bench type of scorer. The Heat really struck gold with Kendrick Nunn, getting him as an undrafted minimum salary player. But now that he's in line for a contract that lines up more with his production, maybe the Heat say, well, we can't afford this guy and let him move on to another team. The collection of guards in this year's free agent class is going to be deep, but there aren't many who can match Nunn's production, big game experience, and success with a serious, no-nonsense organization like Miami. I would definitely look toward the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Orlando Magic, or the Detroit Pistons for his services. All would have the cap space to sign him, and I think all could use his production off the bench. Then you've got Furkan Korkmaz of the Philadelphia 76ers. Furk put together a pretty solid season for Philly. He's 6'7", 6'10" wingspan, so he's going to give any team solid length as a defender. He can even play some forward spots too, and now in his 4th year, he's still one of the more underrated players around the league. He just finished this season on a minimum deal, but I think with unrestricted free agency, he could command a lot more. There were some games this year where Korkmaz looked like one of the best dudes on the court, erupting for 30 points here, maybe 40 points, and another game draining 3 after 3 and just bombing away. I think a team that needs shooting or help on the wing would likely look at signing Furky Furk. That's what I like to call him. Philly is definitely an option, especially if they can get him for a good contract, but I would look at the Memphis Grizzlies or the New Orleans Pelicans to maybe swoop into. And finally, we've got Tim Hardaway Jr. of the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, of course, took the Clippers to 7 games, and Tim Hardaway was a big part of that series. I think in the right situation, he could fill that Jordan Clarkson 6th man of the year type of role, a guy who just comes in off the bench and fires away and lights it up. And even though he could start for a lot of teams, he's also really good off the bench as a high usage player. Each front office seems to value bench scoring a bit differently, and as Hardaway approaches his 30s, he could have an opportunity to sign another lucrative contract fresh off his current deal with Dallas. After thriving alongside Luka after coming over in that Porzingis trade, Hardaway might score that payday from the Mavericks, but if he does test the open market, I would keep an eye on the Heat because, as I mentioned, they have lots of money to spend. They tried it with Victor Oladipo. It doesn't really look like that has worked out, so I think they need another candidate to fill that spot. I think Boston is also looking to revamp their roster this offseason. Evan Fournier didn't really work out with the Celtics, so I think Tim Hardaway Jr. might be an option for them too, especially if they can find a way to unload Kemba Walker and open up some extra salary on their team. Guys, that's what I think, but let me know in the comments what you think of these free agent moves. Where do you think these guys should sign, and do you want them on your team? Hey, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss another NBA video. I've even got some boxes on the screen for you to check out so you can see more quality NBA content just like this. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Troy, and I'll catch you next time on the Half Court Report.